On one of my vlogs for this channel, I was doing a voiceover. I remember feeling so cringe. I remember sounding like every other YouTuber that does voiceovers. And there's no shame in sounding in a way that you hear other people sounding, because I feel like we, as humans, we see something or we hear something and we pretty much emulate what that sounds like or looks like. And I think that's why I sounded like that, because I heard the way that sounded. And because of that, I was mocking, or not mocking, but I was emulating the way that sounded. So I sounded like everyone else. And hands down, it is so draining. I remember when I was scripting a lot of my videos, I would read the script and I would sound like a robot. Like, it doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound like I'm being myself. I don't sound like Jacqueline, right? And I know you know what I'm talking about, because that's the reason why you clicked on this video, more than likely, is because you want to start trying to be yourself and stop sounding like everyone else. And the reason why I wanted to stop unscripting, I wanted to stop doing all of the reading and writing everything out and trying to memorize what I'm going to say, all my talking points, is because even if I'm not trying to sound like another YouTuber, if I'm reading my script, I sound like I'm not Jacqueline. I sound like I'm not me. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I'm pretty much forcing what I'm trying to say when I show up on camera. So ironic, because I resonate with a lot of the people who are very vulnerable on camera, and they make me feel comfortable because it's what they share is relatable, when they are very transparent about their struggles and things like that. And when I show up on camera, it's hard for me to be that if I'm reading a script, or if I'm trying to remember what to say, or if I have to pick up a, bullet point outline list. And it's not that I won't ever write a list out or go by some outlines, but for the past 8 videos now, this is my 8th video from my personal YouTube daily challenge. It's my 8th video, and I have not used any scripts. And I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to show up on camera and just talk like this, like just off the cuff, be myself. Whatever comes out of my mouth, you're going to get it raw and real. And you're going to hear me mess up. You're going to hear me make mistakes. You're going to hear me ramble. You're going to hear me overshare. You're going to hear me say things that don't make sense. Not connected. It's not connected at all to what I was just saying, because my head is trying to focus, but then it trails off. But trying to sound like other YouTubers just means that we're afraid to show our real selves, right? I know for me, my experience with trying to show up on camera and trying to be myself, it has a lot to do with the old beliefs that I have, that people will judge me. And even if I have or don't have that belief, people will judge me, right? Because everyone will have their opinions. But I want myself to show up on camera for real. I want myself to be the only person that I don't sound like someone else. I won't sound like, oh, like my viewer won't say, oh, that's exactly what so-and-so said in those exact phrases. And that's exactly what that person said in that way. And the reason why I would show up that way is because I'm thinking about that person, right? I'm not thinking of my own insights, and I'm not thinking of my own ideas. I'm not pulling from my own experiences. And I think that's how a lot of people, it's not just the tone of another YouTuber that I'm following, or like the cadence or the pace of their voice, but it's even their ideas, right? It's the concepts that they have. It's not things that are unique to me that I want to share with people. It's not my stories. It's something that I'm pulling from someone else. And yeah, every now and then I will share a story or a concept that I personally learned from someone, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I want to show up on camera myself, and if you want to show up on camera as yourself, then you have to be willing to not think about all the other favorite YouTubers, vloggers out there, and and be yourself. And I think that sounds simplistic to say, hey, just be yourself. But how do you be yourself? For me, I think that, well, at least what has been helping the last 8 days, because this is my 8th consecutive video in a row, it's showing up without a script. And I know that sounds insane, because to me, I end these videos and I'm still like so amazed that I actually recorded a video and it didn't sit in my hard drive. I actually published it for everyone to see, with all the mistakes that I have, with all the ramblings that I have. I posted it on YouTube, right? Because I've recorded so many videos when I was out in public for when I was vlogging, and I've edited those videos and it stayed in my hard drive because it just didn't feel like me. I felt like I needed to show up in a way that's really me, but I think that's why I didn't want to publish it. I'm sure there are other reasons like, oh, I wanted to be more perfect or whatever, right? But the the fact that YouTube has, I don't even know the number of how many channels are actively uploading videos, but the bottom line is we can easily access videos on YouTube or anywhere, but specifically YouTube, with the tap of a button in a split second. And there are so many personalities out there. There are so many great YouTubers out there who are showing up as themselves. And the reason why I want to sound like them is because their channel is successful and they have this specific personality. It rubs off on me. Number one, I absorb that because I watch them frequently and I find myself talking like that. So then when I show up on camera, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that maybe it was unintentional, right? But for the most part, I think it's intentional. At least in my experience, it's intentional showing up like my favorite vlogger with their personality because I was so influenced. I was so used to hearing their voice and their laugh and the style of how they speak, and it just transferred onto me, and it hooked me. It's basically that influence. What is it? Influencer grasp, if you want to call it that. But yeah, there are tons of people on YouTube with active channels, and we can watch videos all day long and forget about how we are actually designed and built with our own unique personalities. And for me, the reason why I wanted to stop trying to talk like other YouTubers is because I just didn't give myself enough space to trust myself and be myself on camera. So I felt like I had to sound like someone else, because if I sounded like someone else that I knew was more authoritative, had more they were a figure on YouTube that was successful, then if I sound like them, then maybe it will be something that I can use to develop my own confidence, right? But really, confidence is the fact that you're taking action to figure things out, and in the beginning it's going to be extremely messy. So that's the reason why I started doing unscripted videos, even if it's so messy like this and rambly. But it's because I need to find my voice, right? Because when I was writing scripts out and maybe even saying some things that my favorite YouTubers said, I would try to say it in a way that they're saying it. And it just wasn't my unique Jacqueline self. And I think I'm just basically saying the same thing over and over again in slightly different ways, because I think it's very obvious. It's a simple thing to say that if you're sounding like another YouTuber, it is what it is, right? There's no other way to say it. But I think also that showing up as yourself, it does something to someone else. We never know. You know, like when you don't know what someone's going through, you think you know what they're going through because they treated you a certain way, but in reality, you don't know if they just came from a job, their employer and their boss treated them really poorly, or maybe their spouse was mistreating them or was cheating on them, and they don't know how to cope with it, and so they treat you a different way. So it's kind of the same way with showing up on YouTube. You show up in a specific way. Wait, where was I going with this? I'm trying to see see. This is the part where it's like, oh, I'm going to show up as myself and not try to talk like my favorite vlogger. And this is the consequence of that. But it's okay to learn through your mistakes and talk through it, because that's action. That's showing up and speaking. Sometimes it reveals what you were struggling with internally this whole time. Yeah, anyways, going back to trying to be yourself, it's I think that's what I was trying to say is, when you have so much access to so many personalities on YouTube, it's hard to show up as yourself. So when it comes time for you to start your own YouTube channel and press record, you have so many things in your head with other personalities that it's so hard to sound like yourself. And you also have this low key, maybe this is you, a low key shame of like showing up as yourself because there's no evidence to show yet that you actually have a community that, wants to support you. And so you feel like you're not at that status level, so to speak. And we have to remember that our favorite vloggers, Mr. Beast and whoever comes to mind that is your favorite, they started out messy, just like this. They started out raw. I don't know if you've ever seen this recent video that Mr. Beast put out. It was about a month and a half ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. And he posted this video from 10 years ago when he first started his channel. I don't know if it was his very first video, but it was scrappy. It was this video of him just in his bedroom, and he was right next to his, I think, sitting on his computer desk, and it was just scrappy. Like there was no fireplace in the background, and no mirrors or no setup, no nothing. And he was just talking with no script. He had no script, no agenda. He just wanted to be on camera. And he said he wanted to be a YouTuber. And in 10 years from now, he wants to look back on the video and he wants to have at least 1 million followers. I don't even know what the number of subscribers he has now because I'm not keeping up with that, but I know that he is the biggest YouTuber on subscribes. He has the biggest subscribes on YouTube if that's still up to date. But it's crazy. Like he started that way in his bedroom with no lighting, no script, no hook, 3 points in between, and an outro, which, by the way, I'm still not practicing the outros as much, but little by little, I will get there, and I trust that. But going back to Mr. Beast, I mean, I'm just using him as an example because it's relatable. Everyone knows his name, right? And the point is that you have to start at a place messy and being willing to do that. Because if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to keep not showing up as yourself. You're going to keep thinking that this thing has to be this way because that's what you've seen someone else do. And so when you try to start your YouTube channel, you're going to think about that person instead of thinking about your own journey and your own path. So the other thing is I wanted to say that when you're going through a process, if you've never been through that process, what happens is you think about what you think it should look like or what you think it feels like, and you actually make it bigger and more of a mountain rather than a molehill because you think that's what it's like until you actually go through it yourself. So for example, right now, this is day 8 for me on my 30 YouTube daily videos challenge. And I did not know that, I mean, yeah, okay, so I did not know that I would stick to it this far in, and on certain days I was higher energy, certain days I was lower energy, certain days I felt more confident to show up because of the thing that I was going to talk about, the topic that I was going to talk about. Tonight was one of those videos where I did not feel confident, guys. Honestly, I think I did 4 retakes in the very beginning, maybe even 5, before this one actually recorded all the way through. I kept trying to record the hook and I kept getting tongue-tied. I think it's because before this started, I was looking at writing out titles and trying to make sure that if this title is something that I feel really good about, then I will record it. And I still didn't feel as confident about the title, but I told myself I'm just going to show up anyways, because even if I have the perfect title, I'm still self-conscious in my head and thinking about all these things. Because before this video, I was telling myself, I don't know what I'm going to say on this video. I honestly don't know what I'm going to, how am I going to talk to people on this topic? Like, I don't know. I had a lot of self-doubt for this video, but yeah, you have to be willing to start somewhere. And so, see, I'm trying to remember how I was trying to connect that back to what I was saying. Yeah, Mr. Beast. And then when Mr. Beast started, he started there, but like now he's here, right? He went from here to here. And the only way for him to get there is he started in his little bedroom with very minimal setup and just a willingness to show up on camera, to be himself and share his thoughts. And it's nothing more complicated than that, especially when you're just getting started on YouTube. When you're getting started, you just start and show up as yourself. You develop your own style as you go along. And oh, that's what I was trying to say. Before I started this 30-day challenge, I didn't know that on some days I would be more motivated. I mean, I think I did know that, but when you actually get to the point of like today, I didn't feel like doing the video. The other day, yesterday, I had a really good time before I recorded the video before this on day 7. Yeah, but I didn't know what the process would feel like because I never did it, is my point. I never did this process of recording videos every day. And as a matter of fact, I've never done this. I've not even on Facebook when I was doing lives back during the pandemic. I did not do videos every single day like this. And I was making it bigger than I thought it was, but actually because I've been doing this already for 8 days, which is so small compared to other people who have been doing this for more than 200 days. The mentor that I'm following, she's been doing this for, I think 200 and I don't want to get the number wrong, 200 plus days in a row. She's actually who encouraged me to start that for myself in order for me to find my voice. So I took it upon myself to challenge myself because I don't want to sound like other YouTubers. I don't want to keep saying that I want to start a YouTube channel but not start it because I'm so self-conscious about how I talk, how I sound. So the way for me to get over that is to just be willing to sound so sloppy on my videos and learn from it and learn that I won't know the process until I go through it. So yeah, I was just saying that we make the process bigger than it has to be, than it is, if we've never been through it. But now that I'm going through it, I know the nuances of what I need to set up beforehand. Oh, I shouldn't work on the thumbnail until after. Like I can work on it after when the video is uploading because I already took some pictures of myself before the video. And actually I'm learning that I don't know. I was thinking of maybe trying it out to, instead of taking my thumbnail pictures before the video, I should take it when I'm done recording this. So when it's uploading, I can do it then instead of taking up more time in the beginning. But a lot of people, they say to record or to take a picture of yourself for your thumbnail before you record so you won't forget, which is not a bad idea at all. I've been doing that. I've done that every day since day 1. But I think on some days, it just depends how I feel. As long as honestly, my hair, if I showered before the video, I don't want to have wet hair before, for my thumbnail. So it would make sense to record or to take a picture of myself for my thumbnail after the video, because I won't even show up on camera with my hair wet. It doesn't feel good. Process. Think about the process. And if you've never experienced it, the only way to know how it really feels is to go through it. So think of it this way. If you don't know how to describe what it's like to be on video, if you don't know how to explain to someone the nuances of being on camera and how that feels, then you don't know the process. And so you cannot judge it yet. So until you put yourself on camera, until you start to figure out the different ways to be more effective, how to overcome the lack of motivation, how to record a video even if your energy is low, how to press record even if you don't feel confident at the topic, if you don't know the process of maybe looking up how to, or not looking up, but if you don't know the process, if you don't know how to explain to someone what you do to get to creating a thumbnail, how did you get to a title? Like if you don't know any of that, if I don't know any of that, I can't tell that to someone, which means I don't know the process. And if I don't know the process, then why am I making it a bigger deal than what it probably is, right? So I just learned that recently, and it made so much sense that, I mean, that's basically where the making mountains out of molehills comes from. And it makes so much sense because, yeah, we can't judge something. It's like judging a book. Is it the same thing, kind of? Let me think. Judging a book without a cover. And let's scrap that. You're listening to me in real time, so let's just scrap that. But yeah, I really want to encourage you to pick up the camera and record yourself. Like, I think some people will even say, you've heard it too, to record yourself and you don't need to show it to anyone. You can, leave it in your camera and, don't worry about it. Just keep practicing. I've heard that for a very long time, but honestly, this is the only time I'm really starting to feel that confidence when it comes to speaking. Again, I had no idea what I was going to say on this video, but guys, we have conversations with people all the time. This is how we find our voice. This is how we get to figure out how to be better at something, is when we show up, even when it's messy. So, yeah, I'm done trying to sound like other YouTubers. Because yeah, again, I love channels where the creators are comfort creators. It's very relatable what they share. They're willing to be vulnerable and transparent in the struggles that they have. And if I like that and I'm drawn to that, I also want to show up that way so that I can be relatable to someone who's going through something that I know I can help them with. So yeah, that's the whole video. I don't have like 3 talking points. I just talk off the riff, and hopefully there's something here that's a little gem that you can take away that can encourage you. And it's because I just want to show up as myself. Again, I've tried to write scripts. I've tried to even write outlines. And if I have an outline and I have it near me, like right here where you can't see it, I try to refer back to it and remember what I'm saying, but it's too distracting. It takes me away from focusing on what I'm trying to say, because I'm looking at that and then I'm trying to think about what it says. My eyes are bad. I'm trying to read what it says, and I'm trying to make my brain understand what it's saying so I can next think about what it's saying so I can think about what to say next. It's too overwhelming for me. So right now, this is it. This is how I'm trying to find my voice. This is how I'm taking action to quit sounding like my favorite YouTuber. And I would love to hear from you if you found any of this relatable or if it's helped you. I just encourage you to press record and don't leave the video in your camera. Learn the process of what's the process of uploading it to YouTube. How do you come up with titles? Create a title, and you're going to get 0 views in the beginning. It's the best time to put yourself like this on camera when no one's watching. You literally have no one watching. You have no audience. I was going to put a screenshot of my numbers, my analytics, since I started this 8-day challenge. I may not, but basically if I don't put it, I'll just tell you right now, the views are extremely low. It's my 8th video so far, but hey, I'm trying to find my voice, and I am more than happy because this is building my action taking, forward motion, trusting myself process. It's building that for me, and that's the only way that I'm going to get better. No course is going to do that. No person is going to motivate me to do that or to get me to that place. It's me. I have to have my own back, and I encourage you to think about those things for yourself. Okay, that's it, guys, for this video, and I will see you on today's day 8, so I'll see you on day 9. Take care.